Hey there guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to do a quick unboxing of the TCL Stylus 5G. And a big thanks to TCL for sending this out to review. The TCL Stylus 5G is available from T-Mobile and Metro PCS, and at full price costs $258. All right, let's take a quick look at the box before we open it up. You can see we have a photo front and back of the TCL Stylus 5G, TCL branding. We've got TCL Stylus on both sides, serial numbers and all that good stuff here. And then we also have TCL Enjoy More on the very top. On the back, we do have some specs here. So as you can see, we do have the stylus, of course. That is the main feature of this phone. We have a 6.81-inch Full HD Plus display, 50 megapixel camera, Core X8 processor, 128 gigs of storage, and 4 gigs of RAM. Let's go and open it up and take a look. All right, on the very top, we do have our phone. On the inside flap, we do have our SIM eject tool, as well as our terms and conditions and quick start guide. We do have our USB cable, and it looks like it is USB-C to USB-A. And then we do have our charging brick, which is probably 18 watts, just like TCL's other phones. And here is everything that comes in the box. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at our TCL Stylus. All right, and taking a brief look around the phone, you can see we have this beautiful 6.81-inch Full HD display. We do have that hole punch camera at the very top here. We have minimal bezel, of course. We do have a little bit of a chin down here at the bottom. You can see this is kind of a thick boy, but it also houses that stylus in here. We have this kind of nice design. Not sure if you can really see that. All along the side, kind of an interesting texture around it, so it does give a little bit of grip. We have our SIM card and micro SD tool right here. On the opposite side, you can see we have our volume rocker as well as our power key, which doubles as our fingerprint sensor. Now, one thing I did notice is it's kind of low on the phone, and I did actually tap this a couple times where it wanted to turn the phone off, so that was kind of annoying. Taking a look at the bottom, you can see that texture actually goes all the way around, by the way, goes all the way around the bottom edges of the phone. We have a 3.5mm headset jack, we have a microphone, our USB-C for charging, our speaker, and we also have that stylus. And the stylus just pops out like so. And as you can see, it does pop up where we can immediately start writing on our display. So that's really, really nice. And actually seems to be pretty responsive as well. One thing I did note is that it is pretty nice to use during setup because I was able to still press buttons and actually type with the stylus, so that was pretty nice to see. Taking a look at the back here, you can see it is a plastic back, of course, just because the cost of the phone. We have TCL branding on the side here, and then we do have a quad camera setup with an LED flash. Our main camera is a 50 megapixel. We have a 5 megapixel and two 2 megapixel cameras as well. Now, of course, this being a TCL phone, it does include Next Vision technology, so any photos you take, any videos that you watch on your phone will have that Next Vision attached to it. It'll enhance the video, images, games, and all that good stuff, and it does actually do a pretty good job of making content look a lot more vibrant. Of course, this is coming from TCL. They are a TV maker, so they know a little bit about making things look good on screens. So this phone does actually have Android 12, as you can see, which is pretty nice. And one thing to note, it did have an update out of the box here. As you can see, it's a 499 megabyte update, so a pretty large one. All right, and the update for this phone took quite a while to complete, but it did do it while the phone was on, so you could actually do other things. So that was pretty nice to see. Now, showing you the specs on the phone here, as you can see, we have a resolution of 1080 by 2460, pretty nice display, decent viewing angles as well. Bunch of cameras on here. Front 13 megapixel. We have a 50 megapixel main sensor. We have 5 megapixel, 2 megapixel, 2 megapixel sensors. So I'm pretty sure that's macro and depth sensors in there. 128 gigs of storage is expandable. We have 4 gigs of RAM. Looks like we have a MediaTek CPU in this. We are running TCL's UI4, which is running on Android 12. We have 4,000 milliamp hour battery. And as you can see, we have the June 5th security patch. Taking out our home screen here, you can see it looks pretty clean. Not a whole bunch of bloatware, which is nice to see. You can definitely tell we have Android 12 based on our notification shade. Looks really, really good here. So checking out some of the applications that are included here. So we have, of course, have our Google applications included. We have some different tools from TCL, camera contacts, gallery, game box. We have My Script Calculator 2, Nebo for TCL. These are for the stylus themselves. we have our phone, Play Store settings. So really not a lot of stuff included out of the box, which is really nice to see. As far as our storage is concerned, you can see that we have 11% used and 114 gigs free. Not too bad. Now, when you want to use a stylus, you simply just click it and it will pop out here. And then it immediately starts our ability to draw. So you can draw pretty much instantly. The response time seems pretty decent. As you can see, it uses kind of a thicker line when you get in here. However, you can go in and you can adjust that so it can be a little bit thinner if you'd like it to be. We can also change between a couple different colors. So we have red, yellow, green. So you can draw in here. We also have our eraser, so you can adjust that as well. And that's just your quick thing. And if you press the check mark here, it will save it in your phone. So we can use this to navigate the phone, which is nice. As I mentioned, I was doing that in the setup, so I really like that. We've got that Nebo for TCL. I believe this is the application they're using for note taking, as you can see here. So sign in, of course, draw a line to start. There we go. And looks like you can install different languages as well. So I'm not gonna go too much into that, but you do have the note-taking stuff in here. And then clicking the pen doesn't really do anything. So I'm not really sure how we would access the notes unless we just go into notes here. Yeah, so we have our handwriting. So there we go. So here's some that I already did, and then we can just tap plus, and then we can just continue to make some notes. Now, don't expect this to be amazingly accurate or super low latency like some of the nicer phones out there, but this is still really nice to have. I really like phones with styluses. One thing to note here is the S22 Ultra has it on this side when it used to be on this side. So I think it's actually better off on the right-hand side. That's just my personal view on that. But the stylus is definitely really cool. Quick thing I just want to make a note of here is just the similarities between some of the other recent TCL phones. So we have right here the TCL 30V 5G for Verizon. We have the TCL Stylus 5G, and then we have the TCL XE 5G. So camera arrays look completely similar, and honestly, you can see some similarities between all these. So they kind of look very alike. So it's very easy to probably get confused by these, just seeing these in the store. But each of them has their own perks, and each of them are at different price points. So, and taking a quick look at our camera app, it looks pretty similar to other TCL phones. We have auto, video, portrait, and pano options in here. And if we go into the settings here, our picture size is 12 megapixels by default. However, you can take a 50 megapixel high pixel photo at the same aspect ratio as the 12 megapixel. Of course, that's going to take quite a bit of storage. As far as video quality, it seems it only goes up to 1080p, 30 frames per second, which, not the greatest. Let me go to video here. I want to see if it actually does only do 1080p. So 1080p at 30 frames per second. I feel like a 50 megapixel camera could do 4K just fine, but I guess they reduced that. You have that ultra wide mode here also. And then it does look like we have super macro and then a high pixel option in there as well. So you have a couple of decent options in here, and I'll definitely have some photos to show you in the actual review of the device. All right, guys, so there you have it. A quick unboxing and first look at the TCL Stylus 5G. A pretty nice phone, I must say. I do like the stylus on here. Works pretty well. Kind of gives it a little change of pace from a traditional smartphone. Does look very similar to other TCL smartphones, but this one is available from T-Mobile and Metro PCS for about $258 if you paid in full. Of course, they have some deals on these running every now and again, so be sure to check it out. I'll leave a link down below if you are interested. Any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.